Welcome to my world.
From stage to screen, comedy to politics,
Decriminalize it.
he's cannabis's most famous and fearless celebrity. Now, Tommy Chong is ready to cut through the smoke and change the tone of Tilk Radio.
Please welcome the stoner legend himself, Tommy Chong.
Welcome to the Tommy Chong Podcast.
Welcome to the Tommy Chong Podcast with my number one ace recording engineer, Paris Chong.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Who was sitting there trying to figure out how to turn this thing on. But it looks like we got it on. We're on, right?
Yeah, you sound a little crackly.
Well,
No, you sound all right.
I'm okay.
Maybe it's my ear.
It could be your ear.
You got your hearing aids in right now?
Did I tell you what happened?
Well, I was there. I witnessed it. Tell our audience what
Well, I'll
happened.
tell you what happened is that I got these expensive hearing aids for both ears.
Now, how expensive are they?
They're over $3,000. That's
So
expensive.
$1,500 each?
Yeah, no, they're expensive. I mean, they got them on the market now. I think for $50 or something, you can get those cheap ones. But mine's for the stars. Hearing aid for the stars. And I had to take all sorts of tests because when they tested my right ear, it was so low compared to my left ear that they thought, oh, there might be a tumor. It was nice to hear, because, especially after I just finished dealing with a tumor in my butt, And so now they're telling me, well, probably not, but you never know. And I'm thinking, oh, fuck.
Can't they just check it out and then tell you, like, oh, we kind of thought it was a tumor. Thank God.
They don't act that way. What they do, they scare you into getting all these tests. So I got a CAT scan.
Oh, because you could have said, no, I don't want any tests. Just give me my hearing aid.
Yeah. The girl that was doing it, which is, by the way, she's a very cute little cutie pie named Sammy. She's Moroccan. And so she was fitting me with a hearing aid. And then she was the one that did the test, the hearing test. And she said, so she sent me to another doctor, and I got a CAT scan. But after I got the CAT scan, I sat there with the doctor at the place. And he gave me the results right away.
Oh, that's cool.
He looked at my brain, he looked at my head, the x-ray of my head, and he said, there's nothing there. And I felt relieved, and then I thought, what's he talking about? I said, there is a brain there. He said, but very small, very small.
And what was the hearing damage from?
They don't know. It's age. It could be age. It could be the bass.
It's your left ear, right?
No, it's my right ear. It's the weakest.
Where do you put your amp?
On the right side. Coincidence.
Just
Strictly
a coincidence. Couldn't be your amp, huh?
No. It's probably that fucking drummer of ours.
Because which one?
Anyone.
Because you have a habit.
I don't want to name names because he'll stalk me and shoot me.
Oh, right. Because you have a habit, and I don't know, you may have always had this, but whenever you start playing, you got to go and fuck with your amp.
Well, everybody does.
Not everybody.
Come on, I learned that from the black guys, from the old black blues players.
But like, you've already tested it, you've already set it up, and then you got to do it again. Is it like a nervous tick or something like that? Or?
No. You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. Too many, when you start recording and playing, like you record a song, and then you go in the studio and you learn it, practice it, and then you get it down, and then you record it. And then when you're playing it live, the instinct is to play it exactly as you recorded it. And so what happens to a lot of, really good musicians, they're lousy when they're entertaining people because, in a recording studio, the audience doesn't exist. Or if they're there, you don't notice them. But when you're in front of a live audience, your only purpose in front of a live audience, at least it used to be, is to entertain. And so a lot of times what it used to be is that you had a tight show and you didn't look away, you didn't turn your back on the audience, you faced the audience, you smiled, and you really worked it. And you did every tune note for note, and it was just like the record, and everybody cheered and everything was fine.
See, that is what I like. I don't like it when it's like a yelling version of the record. You know, some artists like they do this live version and they think they need like the more energy, or they think they need to add something, and it just sucks.
Well, you know why a lot of it is that way? Is because when you do the recorded version, you use studio musicians.
Oh, so they're not the ones playing on
That's
the album.
right. That's right. And so
Well, I can tell.
No,
so can they just put the studio band behind the curtain and then?
So boring, so boring. You would fucking fall asleep. So that's what changes, and that's what I was getting to.
Oh.
So when you get in front of a live audience, you have the control. You see, it took me years and years to realize that, you know, because for the longest time, you know, it was like you only got a short period of time to play your music, you know, and then you get off the stage. So you didn't have time to play with the audience or mess around.
Oh, because your set was like, what, 3 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, whatever, you know, you're on and off anyway, or up and down like a toilet seat. That's what they used to say. And so when you become a star, when you become a major star, then you can hog that stage and that mic forever. Like Dave Chappelle. See, one time when Dave Chappelle was in the Comedy Store, you know, you got 5 minutes to do your shit and get off the stage. Okay, now he's a big star. So he'll stay on that mic for 7 hours.
Yeah.
And he has.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have. You know, you develop those kind of chops.
Well,
and so I'm telling you, with me, when I started playing, you know, when I evolved to where I'm at, you know, on the stage, you know, making sure the amp sounds right is very important, as opposed to just letting it go. And the trouble is with the way we do it is that it's a rented rig. And so it doesn't sound right, and being deaf and everything else, you know, I've really got issues with it. And that's why, you know, I'm sort of like phased out of that era of my life, you know, because I just can't do it anymore.
You've been playing with that rented amp for longer than you played with your own amp. Just so you know, let's just put that in context.
Oh, I never took my own amp.
Okay, so then you never had your own amp.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you're always fixing it. You're always trying to look for that tone. For the
But
thing.
back to Dave Chappelle, I prefer the edited, written version of Dave Chappelle on Comedy Central.
Of course.
You know what I mean? That's when you really you see that there was a team of people that put that show together.
Yeah.
You know, and of course it was his mind.
Yeah.
But that team sure helps
No,
a show.
no, you're editing. That's what
Yeah.
you're doing. You're editing. You're not just seeing raw footage.
That's like when you look at Eddie Murphy's stand-up 1 hour special, and you look at a lot of these guys. I don't know about Louis C.K., but like I know Chris Rock.
Well, those guys, don't forget.
They have a team of writers.
But don't forget, those guys were trained on television. So every word, every comma, everything there was a purpose for it.
So they
it was well written.
So I guess they work on their own material for a year with their crew, huh? With their
Yeah.
writers.
Yeah.
And then the writers help make the adjustments, and
Well, they
because
know.
Paul Mooney was a big writer for a lot of guys.
For Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and Chris Rock, and David Chappelle. I think
Yeah.
they all hired him.
Yeah, of course. He had a very hip sense of humor, and it's a hip way of looking at everything.
Yeah,
He was the one. Yeah,
a unique perspective,
a very hip,
even from the same community.
Yeah, well, you look at Richard Pryor until he met the Paul Mooneys of the world. He was just copying copying Bill Cosby.
Oh, that's when he was doing so much on the TV work, right?
Yeah, TV in Vegas, and you know,
it was like pre Brother Man Richard Pryor, right?
Yeah.
Because there was a point I saw that documentary that he switched.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, I'm not doing that shit anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real.
Yeah,
You know,
and then he called Paul Mooney and those guys in, and that's how you get your show.
which is pretty amazing, because even that could have killed a lot of careers, but he was so good and so loved that he just began his movie career.
Well, you see a lot of comics. It's the accidents is where the mic fucks up or something happens, and they've dropped their written set, and they go into their ad-libs. And their ad-libs are way more insightful, way better, way funnier, because it's coming right out of the vacuum, right out of the ether and into their voice and out into the audience. And so you're witnessing a birth of genius.
Right.
That's what you're witnessing.
I see how important the design of a club is for that, because you want the energy and the laughter from the audience, but you don't want the distraction of the audience. Right. So you have a dark club, and then this reverberating laughter coming at you in different sounds, shock, disgust, laughter, and then that spotlight is just blinding you. So it's almost like shining a light deep inside your mind, in your soul. That's right. And then that's that perfect mixture of what you need for a comedy club to really do some brilliant work. So it gets a little different, I guess. On stage, it looks different because it's on camera and then you see more lighting. But in reality, from the stage, you don't see the audience really, or you might see a little bit, huh?
You see what you can see,
like at those bigger theaters. Yeah. But the nightclubs, I guess you see them too, huh?
Well, see the experience of the comedian. When they walk out there, they see everything because they've done it so many times. They look for the weirdos, They look for the.
Or they may have a bit, right?
Couple, they've got it all ready to go, and they got their heckler line all ready to go. And it's not that you remember it; it's just that you've done it, and it's body memory. Yeah. And so if someone throws a line at you, you just automatically answer them or not answer them. Right. Like Jack Benny, this old television comedian, had done comedy all his life. He had a bit he was a violinist, and he used to fake like he was going to play a violin, and then he would do comedy. Right. And it was a bit, and he could play a little bit, but he would play so bad that people would, he would joke about people would pay him not to play. That's where he made most of his money. Yeah. But anyway, he had such control of the audience, and they knew his persona so well that he made a pause famous. Like one of the greatest skits, this guy held him up. He says, "Your money or your life?" And then there was this long pause. And then the guy said, "Well," and Jack says, I'm thinking. Classic move. It was classic. And he had a black guy, a driver named Rochester. And Rochester was from that old black Sambo kind of, humor. Where everybody...
Like blackface kind of stuff?
Blackface without blackface. It was real. He was actually black, but it was... Yes, Mr. Benny.
It kind of played on the black stereotypes of the time?
Totally.
So it was very racist.
Yes, Mr. Benny. No, Mr. Benny. Yeah, Mr. Benny. Yeah, your car's ready, Mr. Benny. It was that servant kind of trip. Ooh. And I know now you couldn't do it.
I don't know how I feel about that.
You couldn't do it now, but that's the way the humor was back then. And then they had a black. They weren't black.
But that's the great America that Donald Trump's talking about.
That's the great America, Donald Trump. In the old days, Donald Trump would have a Bill O'Reilly. Yeah. He said it on his show that he's had a black assistant for 20 years, and she's black. Yeah. Therefore, he's not racist. Talking about comedy, it's something that if you've done it so many times that you've honed your skills, and so you can make laughter come out of nowhere.
What's the best heckler comeback you've ever heard or seen or witnessed?
Oh God, what was it? Oh, there's a bunch of them. What was his name?
You'd be crazy to start talking shit in Sam Kinnison's audience, huh?
Oh, Kinnison was.
I'd be scared because he gets a little scary when he's on the mic.
He was. Kinnison. You notice though that there's no nostalgia for Kinnison, because he was
among comics. There are.
Yeah, because he did shit that no one else would ever do. Right. Kinnison would go on at 2 a.m. and the place would be packed to see him. This is after every comic worked, and Mitzi wouldn't put him on until 2 a.m. What could go wrong? Right. And everybody learned that Kennison's going on at 2 a.m. So everybody would wait till 2 a.m. and then go and pack the club and laugh until you had tears come down your eyes because he was just so ridiculous. Anybody here had a broken heart? Oh, come on up here. Do you have her number? Yeah. Okay, let's phone her up.
No way.
Yeah. Phone her up. You bitch, you cunt, you whore. You broke this man's heart. Now I hope you fucking die. You know. Oh fuck.
No way.
when AIDS first came out, Kennison's bit was, "Hey, thanks a lot. Now to go use the bathroom, I open the door with my foot."
That's nasty. Nasty.
And then he apologized, of course, but oh my God, he was funny. I mean, he was comic funny. I mean, comics would come like me, you know, I'd sit there and just kill myself with him because there was no stopping him.
I heard a good quote the other day. Who said it? It said something about, oh yeah, some of the people that we work with Cannabis Club TV, you know, because they're like talking, oh yeah, you're really funny. And one of them's thinking about doing, you know, open mic, and he's like, yeah, well Jeff Foxworthy says that, you know, everyone's funny, or a lot of people are really funny. Mm-hmm. But what turns them into a comic is that the comic wrote it down for later or remembered it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, see, with me, I had music. If you want to learn the tune, like I'm trying to learn the commercial.
But I see you writing comic. You write it down.
Oh, yeah.
You work bits
But
out.
let me tell you how I do it. You know that commercial that comes on TV? I've been a poor man, I've been a king. You know that song? It's a blues song. Anyway, it's a commercial. Now, I'm trying to learn it, and I can only learn a few phrases. But that's what you do. You, like, if you're a really quick learner, it doesn't work. But if you're a slow learner like me, you go over the thing so many times that you hear the little nuances in the thing, you know. With music, now with comedy, it was easy, right? Because you remember it, or you write it down. You write down the key words that you need to do it. But it's like situations that are funny. Yeah. That's why with Cheech, you know, when Cheech was telling us all about his getting sick at the Wailing Wall. Yeah. Okay, I've taken that now. I made a bit out of it, you know, because Cheech's bit was that he got sick and then he left the Wailing Wall and he threw up on the cab. Yeah. Well, see, my bit's going to be he got sick and he threw up on the Wailing Wall.
Because the Jews will be going, up against the wall, and Cheech is going,
That Wailing Wall is a lot of joke. There's a lot of jokes with that. That's what I love about the Jewish people, because that's why there's so many Jewish comedians.
But Cheech has a tendency to tell a good story, especially to you and I. You know, he kind of
we appreciate it,
and he knows we'll get it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I guess, yeah, because there's certain audiences that I know that'll get my story, and it encourages me to tell it even funnier than it actually was.
But you need an audience. See, you know what I've been noticing?
Like, I can't tell mom funny shit.
No.
Like, she'll get distracted and be like, you need a haircut. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh yeah. I'm trying to tell you.
She'll fall asleep. She'll leave. She'll walk in the way in the middle of a sentence. Okay, we got to take a break. I think Mom's at the door. We better shut up.
Okay, we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Tommy Chong Podcast, only on CannabisRadio.com.
Northwest Alternative Health, Eugene's premier medical marijuana clinic, is proud to sponsor the Oregon Marijuana Business Conference. Are you prepared for the changes in the recreational and medical marijuana markets? The OMB presents the state's top industry experts, along with over 40 exhibitors, and features a keynote by Dr. Carl Hart. Also, tickets include a celebrity interview and private after-party with the one and only Tommy Chong. Join us Sunday, April 24th at the downtown Eugene Hilton and be a part of Oregon's fastest growing industry. Check out OregonMBC.com for more details.
Dr. Dabber, hurry! Its temperature is shooting past 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It's burning up.
I'm afraid for this little guy, it's just too late.
What caused the problem?
Only Dr. Dabber can maintain the perfect temperature for a smooth-tasting, slower burn. This standard vaporizer lost all of its health benefits, sending it up in smoke.
So you're telling me that most vapor pens burn so hot they produce smoke, not vapor?
Correct. Keep away from those standard vaporizer pens and turn to Dr. Dabber. Doctor's orders.
Less heat, more flavor.
Educator, author, and advocate Dr. Mitch Earlywine is here to tackle the burning issues.
And I'm here to clear up the myths about cannabis and burn them away with science.
CannabisRadio.com presents a no-holds-barred platform that seeks to redefine and revolutionize the entire scope of the cannabis culture while opening the door for more to join the cannabis crusade.
Dr. Kevin Hill
You can't ignore the fact that, like alcohol, most people who use don't have a problem. So I think that you need to think about policy in that way while educating people properly about marijuana. I think that's the way to go.
Burning Issues, only on CannabisRadio.com. The smoke is rising, and the next crop of podcasts devoted to cannabis providers and enthusiasts are ready to be harvested. Welcome to the Cannabis Radio Network, founded by respected rainmakers who have been producing award-winning podcasts for over a decade. Industry headlines, business updates, medical reports, marketing, and e-commerce education rolled up perfectly for your consumption. Let's grow together. The Cannabis Radio Network. CannabisRadio.com.
The Tommy Chong Podcast is back only on CannabisRadio.com.
Okay, we back. Oh, I got a question.
Okay.
How long was it until you really felt like a good groove as a stand-up?
Well, when we started in Canada, you know, the first laugh, I remember the first laugh.
No, you stand-up.
But I'm getting there. When you get your first laugh.
With the crew.
It's like...
with City Works?
It's like the best sex, best whatever in the world. It's the best release. Endorphins, everything just goes crazy. Mm-hmm. You made a whole crowd of people laugh. That's your reward. And then after that, Cheech and I both, we used to call ourselves a group because we played music so long, all our lives, you know, and we were always used to being in a group. And so what's the name of your band? Cheech and Chong, you know.
Yeah.
And we never really called ourselves comedians until, I guess...
You cut a comedy album?
Yeah, basically.
And won a Grammy for it?
Yeah, we cut a record. Even then. I mean, even now.
But we know about the success of Cheech and Chong, but I'm interested in learning, like, how long did it take till you felt, like, comfortable as a stand-up? Because that was later on. That was like in your 40s, right? Like,
well, you never rest on your laurels because you're always looking at the next gig and where you're playing.
But there was a first gig, and then remember the guy said, he says, lose the sport coat.
Oh, when I went on my own.
That's what I'm talking about.
That was the night Rodney King got his ass whipped.
And that's when you had
a good night after. It was the night after, and so I had to get on stage and talk about the Rodney King beating. Right. And so what I did, I went on and I talked about, you notice, you know, you can just see the mums watching that thing and being so proud that their boy's on TV. You see the one that was beating him? That's my boy. That was my boy. He needs to eat more. He lost a lot of weight. You know, he's been dieting too much. You know, so I did that bit, and then halfway through the bit, someone in the audience goes, "Hey, where's Cheech?" And that kind of stopped that momentum.
Right.
And then I hooked up with Paul Reiser.
So did you
Paul Reiser had a manager named Arthur.
Yeah.
Well, Arthur was the one that he was going to manage me.
Right.
So Arthur, first thing he looked at me, he said, "Lose the sports coat. You know, go back to the jeans and the headband and the Chong look." And I did. And then I told Arthur, I'm not ready to headline, you know, so I just want a gig where I go and do my 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But the first thing he did, you know, Arthur, you know, like they don't listen to you, know, especially new comics, you know, they just say, "Okay, we got your gig," you know, because I'm Cheech and Chong.
Well, they can't. You can't.
No.
You can't.
No, you can't.
You have to headline.
Yeah.
Like, there's no working your way up.
No, that was my stupidity. You know, I had no idea. So my first gig, all of a sudden I find myself headlining. Not only headlining, but I'm in the paper. I'm on the calendar section.
So you got to find those 40 minutes.
Oh, my God. And I got 10 minutes. That's it. And that's stretching it. And so I ended up in a broom closet writing in between shows.
Now, Dad, because I went and saw one of the shows, and then it was like a third of the show was about me.
Really?
Yeah, and that was at Buzz. It was that comedy club right in Santa Monica. On like Pico or Wilshire.
And what
it was about how when I got busted with all my friends and we got put in jail And they found beer on us, and then you got us out of jail, and then you split a beer with me on the way home or something like that.
Yeah. I embellished a little bit. Well, that's what you do. Whatever's handy is your show.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of times, and I learned that from Richard Pryor, because I watched Richard Pryor after he had his accident, when he burned himself. Then he started doing what I wanted to do, like a little comedy club. And they had a club here called the Bitter End West. There was a Bitter End in New York, and then they opened a Bitter End West here. And so, of course, Richard opened it. And the club was, maybe 3/4, maybe a quarter full. And no one is in there. They let anybody in, So I sat there for 3 nights and watched him. And a lot of his show was written in the car on the way down to the gig.
Yeah.
A lot of it, of his show, and he said it, and I watched him how he did a bit, and then he would change a little bit, and he would add a little more, take away some stuff, and then they did it, and now it's second nature to me now.
Yeah.
So whatever I hear, and that's my big problem when I do interviews.
But you used to do a little bit of stand-up. Because when I see old footage of you guys in between bits, you would kind of set the next bit up.
Oh yeah.
So you actually did some time.
Oh yeah.
As a stand-up
Well,
comic.
you had to. That's right from the City Works time when we were an improv group. Because there was we were the guy. We were the MC. We were everything.
Keep it moving. And
okay, we're going to take an intermission, but right now, in fact, we're going to be gone for a half hour. We're going to write the next show, so you want to hang around. Thanks for all your suggestions. Here's a funny thing: we'd ask suggestions from the audience. Hey, do one about killing cops. Hey, do one about gangsters. It's all gangsters. Do one about bikers, and then we come out, and there'd be a different audience. And we spent a whole half hour writing shows.
You'd actually do it?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. We'd sit and write them. Yeah, with the crew.
So it was like improv class, huh?
Oh yeah. We sit there. Okay, what can we do here? And what we did, we borrowed a lot from the Playboy magazine joke department. Like we'd read that, and then we'd
do a live version of it.
Then we do a live version.
Oh, cool.
Like Maureen, one of the more bustier kind of dancers, and she was the funniest, redhead. She's beautiful. Kind of Susan Sarandon kind of looking, with the body and everything. And she would dress, one bit she'd dress like a little girl and be trick-or-treating. And Dave, my partner, he would answer the door, and she'd say, trick-or-treat. And Dave would say, oh, look at you. You're dressed real pretty. And here's a nice apple for you. And she'd go, hey, you broke my fucking cookie. That was a bit. That was just an excuse to get her out there. But we had so much fun.
Hey, how many shows did it take for you to not get tripped up by hey, where's Cheech? Because I'm sure that happened a few more times.
Well, like I say, we had a improv club, and so it was for bikers.
No. Your stand-up.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But see, so we had bikers. We had to entertain. We wouldn't entertain them. We would torture them. See, it was the best gym in the world to start off with.
Right.
Because they didn't want to see naked chicks,
Yeah.
Hey, Elvis. Yeah, that was their big heckler line. Hey, Elvis. No matter, it was a mime artist up there. Hey, Elvis. Hey, look at Elvis up there. And so we were used to that kind of crowd. You see. It was when we got to the comedy people, where everybody's quiet and polite and everything else.
Right.
And then,
So you kind of missed the heckler. You kind of missed the.
Yeah, we just grooved on everything. When people shut up and let you talk, you can do your show.
But you said that it tripped you up a little bit that first night when the guy.
Oh, it stopped the show.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it. After he did that, I was on a kind of a mini roll, by myself,
Confidence was going.
Trying to go on, and Rodney King, it was like, the hip hop mom, and then all of a sudden, hey, where's Cheech? And it was like, oh yeah, where is Cheech? And then right away, Cheech, he got deported.
Oh, good.
Good. Right away. I got it.
Good.
Yeah.
You got an answer for that.
Oh, fuck, yeah. In a minute, excuses, because that's really what comedy is. Comedy is what you tell your wife or the cops or whatever. You make up stories. Oh, you will never guess what happened. And then you make up stories. And, and one thing about me, I love stories. I love hearing people's stories.
You know what? It's funny because it's funny that you mention how comics work their bits out. And I think that's what a comedy club is. Yeah. And that's why I don't like going to comedy clubs very much.
No.
Because I like to see a finished product.
Yeah. It's hit and miss.
You know what I mean? I like a theater.
Yeah.
When you've made it to a theater, at least 1,000 or more people, then you've got a pretty polished product that's tight, right?
You've been spoiled all your life. So you're exception to the rule.
No, but you know what I mean. Like some people just go to a comedy club and I have.
It's comics,
but I have a high standard because you turn me on to really high level shit. So you can't when you're into high level shit, you can't go listen to amateur shit.
It depends on what your interests are. If you want to be a stand-up comedian, then you hang out in comedy clubs.
Yeah, because you want to learn how to do that.
You hang out.
You want to be comfortable.
That's right.
Up there doing that. You want to be respected and given time to do that.
And the thing is, you love everything. It doesn't matter what it is. Like one time we played a bowling alley where the back of the stage was open and you could see we were high up, 1 story up, but you could see the lanes and you could hear them bowling behind you. And then the audience was in front of you.
Was it a Cheech show?
No, it was Shelby and Tommy's show.
Okay.
Chong show. And so we got on stage, at least I got on stage, and I had a ball. Because, hey, you got a bowling alley, and you got to play with the bowlers. You can talk to the people. You do your bit. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they write bits, and they get married into that bit. The trick is to work bits into your show that people in the audience can relate to.
Right.
That's why a lot of shows are just ad-libs. Where are you from? Hey, are you from Wisconsin? Yeah, I spent a day in Wisconsin one year. I spent a year in Wisconsin one day. Those kind of stock kind of jokes. And that's what you do. But the thing is, there's a love. Doing comedy is like making love. Okay. Mm-hmm. In fact, they call it. And did you get off? Yeah, I got off. Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah, I got off. I got off early.
Right.
I got off as soon as I got in there. I got off.
Right.
Or it took me a while, but I got off. I got him. It took me a while, but I finally got him. It's just like fucking.
Right.
Yeah. Did you get off? No, not yet. just a minute. Here, slap me on the ass. Slap me on the ass. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. It's the same feeling. Because once you get on there,
you get addicted to it.
You get addicted to that. You get off, then you feel good. That's why you see them throw down the mic. They used to. I don't know if they do.
Oh, you mean the drop mic?
They dropped the mic
because they just killed it so hard.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
The Wayans brothers started that shit, I think.
Oh, yeah. Like the Def Comedy Jam kind of thing.
They used to do it at Jamie's club, the Laugh Factory, and Jamie would just die. This little Jewish guy, because every time you drop a mic, that's $500 mic or. Being mean to the equipment is not good at any time. But, that's that old Jimi Hendrix killing the guitar thing,
Yeah.
But, that's what comedy, that's why people, you get addicted to it. You can't get away from it.
Yeah.
I got the urge, every once in a while I get the urge to, but we go out enough for me, with the Cheech and Chong show. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I get off. And it's fun, too.
I think it's the best. It's the best venue for you, Dad, because you don't have the pressure of trying to sell a show by yourself or inventing something new. They all want to go see the show, but then you get your time by yourself on there to riff and to work that muscle.
And I know how much it tortures Cheech sometimes.
Yeah.
It tortures everybody, because sometimes I get out there and I go on a tangent and where is it going to go? We don't know. And sometimes it goes nowhere. And that's comedy.
Fine. But I like it because I just see, that's why, sometimes you get like, we got to change the show. And we don't, because you know what? You change it slightly every time.
Yeah.
So that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Because you add a little bit. You're not a do the same thing every time guy.
Because I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can only.
And when you can't remember, something new pops in there.
That's right. That's right. That's why Shelby's show got so good. When we laid off all that time, and then she comes on, and it was I think it was Edmonton or something. But she killed that audience. They just, and she was so hot because it was like a accumulation of all the nights that she did, and it worked her way up to it.
Yeah.
You know, when we first started, she was a beautiful work in progress, because she would get so frustrated because she could only remember that little bit that she
I like your style too, because you put up a real rookie, and then it just makes you seem that much more special.
But you know,
and then you're the good guy. And it's my wife. You know, it'd be cool. You know, and now I'm gonna entertain you guys.
No, but the thing is, you know, it's like I taught her to drive the same way, and although she's been getting in a few minor scrapes lately, I'm pretty proud of that her record, you know. I taught her to drive a stick shift. I taught her in a parking lot, and it was crying time. Every time at the end of don't yell at me. I said, well, you got to stop when I tell you to stop.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I learned, you know, we're going to switch topics a little bit, but when you teach highly dyslexic people something, you have to put yourself in their shoes and kind of like reword things backwards for them. Yeah. And then they go, oh, I get it. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, what you got to get used to, you know, being a sibling and being a son, is that parents have no memory. You teach us how to turn on a TV set, and if you're not around and someone has messed with that TV set, I'm sorry, that TV set stays off until you come back.
I mean, you don't learn very many new things, but you've learned quite a few, because, you know, we were around a bunch of old 70-year-olds, and you're the superstar when it comes to technology. Are you not?
Obviously,
you
are. You are. Yeah. Well, that was thanks to you and Eli.
And it's good that you don't hang with very many 7-year-olds. You know?
No,
so you hang with me, and you hang with the other crew and your boys, and we're all younger. So
no, I like the Pop hated old people.
Yeah.
One time our neighbors set him up with an older Chinese lady. Pop was so pissed off.
He wasn't having that shit.
Oh, he was pissed off. It was like he thinks he's one of the gang. You know, he's one of us.
Yeah,
the boys.
Yeah,
he doesn't want no old lady. He never wanted an old lady. You know.
You started doing. You got that manager, and then you were going to. Did you start going to Hollywood and working those clubs?
Yeah. I would work Laugh Factory.
So I was in like junior high. And you're cruising. You're leaving the house at like 10 o'clock at night and going there.
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, I guess you were. I don't know where you were.
Yeah. No, I was here, like just junior high.
Yeah. I was going cruising to all the clubs. And then I started on the road. Then I went on the road, and you know I got gigs like crazy. You know,
yeah,
being Chong.
Because at that time, there was quite a solid network of comedy clubs.
Oh yeah, right across the world.
Even more than now. So
man,
the 80s and 90s, early 90s were a booming era for comedy clubs.
Oh, it was a golden era.
It was, right?
Oh, it was a golden era.
Yeah.
We were the rock stars.
Yeah, because in the 2000s they shut a lot of them down.
Yeah,
and then only the big name ones survived.
Yeah,
you know, and then now they're starting to open up new clubs.
Yeah, like Gotham City, you know, in New York.
Yeah,
you know, wasn't there. Caroline's was there.
Yeah,
you know, I worked a few places, but you know, we turned what Mom, thanks to your mom, when she joined the gang. You know, before she joined me, I would go to a club in Sacramento,
right?
And I would do the show, and then I'd sit and sign and sell their T-shirts.
Yeah. And then
the club T-shirts, because I never had any of my own, and I did that for a while. And the club owners, they loved me.
I bet they loved you.
I'd sell it all their clubs.
They fucking loved you.
And then I was at the club in Denver. Was it 3rd Street? I forget. You know, that phenomenal club. Same thing. I'd sell their T-shirts, and then the mom come on the road and say, actually before she came on the road, she says, you're going to bring out your own T-shirts.
Yeah.
And so then I had Michael Malcolm drop some design.
Oh, that's when they got that one with like the toilet paper.
The toilet paper one, the hemp. Yeah, and so then I would sell those.
Yeah.
And it turned out the merch was the biggest attraction. People would phone the club and say, are they going to be selling their merch after the show? And there wasn't a lot, but some people came down. The show sold out, but they didn't care. They'd come down and buy the merch.
Oh, you mean they wouldn't even watch the show?
Wouldn't even watch
they would
the
just
show.
hang out,
They would wait until it was time to sell the merch, and they'd come in and buy the merch.
You're listening to the Tommy Chong Podcast, only on CannabisRadio.com.
Great websites today need expert web design and development and need to be e-commerce ready and mobile friendly. But building a marketable and profitable website can be an uphill climb. Ready to make your new website or replace your existing website? Think Orange as the new way to get in the black. Orange Hill Development works with Fortune 500 companies and offer the same top quality development service at a fraction of what other providers charge. Brands like Absolute, Carlsberg, and Nestea trust Orange Hill Development. Find out why you should trust your website with Orange Hill. Contact Orange Hill for a consultation today at orangehilldevelopment.com.
The next generation of vaporizers has arrived. Vuber vaporizers are blazing the way with unparalleled technology for oil, concentrate, or dry flower pens. Providing unsurpassed customer service and expert craftsmanship, Vuber vaporizers use cutting-edge technology, providing a power-packed, smoother vapor with a lifetime guarantee. Experience vaporizing the way it was meant to be, the Vuber way.
CannabisRadio.com keeps you in the know Monday through Friday on air and on demand with Cannabis Radio News. Presented with the definitive worldwide news source, the Associated Press. Stay informed with exclusive news on all things cannabis. Cannabis Radio News, live weeknights at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, during the Russ Belville Show, or download the daily podcast exclusively on CannabisRadio.com, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. When breaking news happens in the cannabis industry, Cannabis Radio News delivers the details first.
Yo, it's your boy TJ, Trinidad James. You're listening to Dr. Bina on Cannabis Confidential. LA, what up?
Nickname James, man. I'm already like.
People were so excited to see you supporting our industry, and it's so important to see people who are mainstream, who are out there, that people look up to.
That was my first one ever going to, so that was definitely a big deal for me. It's not just, oh man, just come smoke a bunch of joints. It's a lot of science into it. It's way more interesting than a lot of people might think who look down, per se, on what we enjoy.
Cannabis Confidential, only on CannabisRadio.com.
The Tommy Chong Podcast is back, only on CannabisRadio.com.
We're back. Oh boy, that felt good. Did you pee?
I did.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was okay.
Okay, we won't talk about that though. Although I could do an hour on my plumbing.
Are you just jealous about my ability to go and have a normal piss?
You know what? I don't even go there. I always look at my advantage. I don't have to worry about what you guys have to go through now. And so I got a lot of time.
Your peeing is like improved 100% now.
It's kind of going back to the dribble.
Is it?
Yeah.
You've been on the Avatar still?
I know what it is.
Are you on the Avatar?
Let me tell you, I know it's too much information for everybody.
Are you on the Avatar?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I don't want to hear any gross shits. Don't even go
It's
there.
not gross. It's not gross. I'm just going to tell you.
No. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you really shouldn't. Seriously.
Well, you can have fun with the colostomy bag. You just got to be creative.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about that shit. I already have to deal with you all the time because you can't even remember to bring your colostomy bag. When you do bring it, you bring the wrong size, and then we got to go and figure that out. You know?
Okay, let's not get embarrassing. Okay.
Well, there's nothing wrong with having a colostomy bag because a lot of people have it, and there's no stigma there, right, Dad?
I was just thinking, those fanny packs. I was just thinking of doing one with a hole in the back of it, so it looks like I got a fanny pack on and not a colostomy bag.
You could.
Yeah.
You could design that.
Yeah. I think I am going to design that.
But you need a waist in order for the fanny pack to actually zip around.
That was mean. That was mean. You mean I need hips? I got a waist.
No, you got hips, but
they're smaller than my waist.
No, there's that tire just kind of envelops that whole area.
Now that's gross.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, if you look in the mirror, this is my advice to people. You're getting old. Find the best lighting and the best angle to look at a mirror. Because you can fix lighting and you can look at the mirror and it looks like you got hair, looks like you got muscles, looks like you got abs. If you don't look at the bag, you're fine.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to talk to you about, I read some cool things about the Panama Papers.
Okay.
And there's two
now, the Panama Papers are the ones that...
if they don't know, they don't know.
They hacked into some lawyer's office and found out all this stuff.
We don't need a recap. Okay. There's two theories. I heard another theory by some other article that I read, and the theory is that the hackers were trying to... The reason why there's no Americans listed in the hacked papers right now, or they haven't released Americans, is because they're trying to blackmail the Americans.
Oh.
And then I read another one that was more interesting.
Oh, interesting.
That it was this guy who was a whistleblower that blew the whistle on UBS, because he worked at UBS in Switzerland. Yeah. And he blew the whistle on them. And he was awarded $104 million, but he served 2 years in prison. So
how much? He did 2 years of study.
I mean, they were like, yeah, you shouldn't whistleblow, but you're right, and here's $104 million. That's a little weird, right?
No, about 2 years. I was in jail with a guy that figured out how to cheat the government out of, the O.J. Simpson money thing, where he got to keep his pension.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this guy that I was in jail with, he figured out a way for everybody to do that.
Oh, yeah?
And the government says, oh, you're too dangerous. And so they literally told him, pick a charge because you're going to go away for 2 years.
It's fucking crazy. So anyways, this guy says he thinks that if you look at the main people that are having, a lot of leaked info from a lot of bad press from this are all people that the United States have rocky relationships right now with. So Russia, China, Argentina,
right.
Pakistan. This guy thinks it's the CIA, but I don't know if that's true because they just came out today that there's CIA accounts on there for doing some dodgy stuff.
Well, if you want to be paranoid,
some black ops.
No, but if you want to be with the conspiracy thing, that's what an operative would do to keep themselves from being suspected. A suspect. They would blow it on themselves, so that we're with you guys. It's not us. We're in the same boat as you are.
Yeah,
because there's no repercussions for the CIA.
But if I was a hacker, I think the hacker, blackmailing thing sounds better because if I were a hacker, I would much rather blackmail some Americans than some Russian or Chinese.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't blackmail Russians. I mean,
I don't think so.
That's some scary shit right there.
I don't think so, especially Putin
or Chinese. Like you will be fucking disappeared, and you'll be kept alive and tortured for a long time.
Ooh, and your families. Oh,
yeah.
No.
Sketchy stuff, man.
Yeah, it is. Especially when, you're blowing whistles like that, and it affects everybody's life.
I find it interesting what Trudeau or what Trudeau's government did is they put out a bounty for $5 million bounty for any info on some Canadian dough. So, because Canada's revenues, it's in a recession, they're having some problems, right?
Well,
they're not getting that money, that oil money.
That oil disappeared. And
that oil money was driving that economy.
And dope money's disappeared too,
Well, it's getting legal, so I
That's what I'm saying. Hey, you got to remember, the United States used to pay millions to all these countries
I see what you're saying.
To keep it illegal. And so when it gets legal, that money dries up. And it's the bureaucrats that are looking for their paycheck.
I like what Putin says. Putin's like, that's bullshit. It's just made up shit from America, And then I like what the Chinese did too. They just blacked out everything. They just told their tech guys, okay, fucking erase anything with my name on it on the internet in China.
Oh yeah. It'd be like living in Texas, or somewhere.
Well, yeah,
because they don't have that kind of information.
It's slightly communist, or I don't know.
What, China?
Do you call it communism there?
No, it's a dictatorship.
It's dictatorish.
Totally.
But there's a little bit of elections going on, so it's like
how you can tell.
It's like dictator light, I guess.
Yeah, modern dictatorism. Yeah, it's a modern look at it. And what they do, they don't name one guy.
Oh no, they're naming one guy. They're naming a lot of guys.
No, but I'm saying as a leader. This is the chairman, but this is the guy.
Xi Jinping is the leader. I mean, he's the leader.
Yeah,
he's the main guy.
Yeah,
he's the dude.
Just like the little guy in North Korea.
He's freaking people out so much that even China's like, man, we're gonna hit you with some sanctions.
Well, I told you the answer to that.
I don't want to hear that one. That's really bad. No, it's terrible, man. You're like Trump. No, but like a colonel in the North Korean Secret Service has just defected.
Yeah.
So,
really?
Yeah.
Save his ass, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? You got no future
it's
there.
It's sad because the dude's like, he's like almost 300 and something pounds, right?
Oh,
and he just came out and he says, listen, it's to his people, like, we're gonna have some hard times. Get ready to be eating dirt and twigs. And meanwhile, he's the fattest fuck around, man.
He said that?
Yeah, because they're clamping down, man. That means no food aid, nothing, dude. And you know what he does? He sends his citizens out to work businesses in China and other countries to bring in income. So
they're working for him.
They're working for the country.
Wow. How long is that going to last?
Well, 13 of them just defected. So I guess there's these restaurants that are in China, like chains of restaurants in China and a few other countries. I don't know, maybe Laos, Vietnam, maybe even Japan. But I don't know about Japan. I don't think Japan. Like a chain of Korean restaurants owned by the North Korean government and staffed by, North Korean.
Yeah, because he's got no income coming in.
Yeah.
And so they're looking for anything.
They got to create money.
Yeah.
Because they can't sell their resources because there's sanctions.
They're sanctioned like crazy. Yeah.
Trippy, right?
It is trippy. And that's what goes behind the scenes, of a world government. And you got to be abreast of all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting, man.
I'm heading to Coachella this weekend.
What's in Coachella?
What?
You mean the rock
Coachella
fest?
Music Festival.
Oh, is that still on?
Yeah. You're actually going.
Oh, that's right. I am, aren't I?
Don't you remember?
Oh, that's
we got you all those tickets.
You did, didn't you? And I got a little VIP area.
But you wear that really good disguise.
Well, I have to because I don't want to be requests for pictures and tickets. Pictures and these beautiful women always want to kiss me, and it's embarrassing after a while. And then you get these girls want me to sign their titties. I say, no, I can't do that. Well, where do you want me to sign? Right here or right there? Or how about right there? Okay, I'll sign here.
Terrible.
Now, how do you spell your name again?
I'm trying to look for the fucking... Man, this is a big old lineup. I'm trying to... Don't they have like a poster, like Coachella poster or something like that?
Is that everybody that's going to be there? Oh, I can't wait to go. Do I get to stand outside in the mud in the rain?
Oh boy. Oh, that was last year's, I think. Let me see here.
Coachella.
Oh, that was last year's.
Yeah, last year was fun. I remember.
What was your favorite last year?
That band, the loud band that played rock.
Oh, I thought you were digging the
electronics.
Yeah,
I was. I was into that, man.
I'm over the electronic thing. I'm going back to the hip hop thing.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Yeah.
Except I dig hip hop, but when they're playing, I'll be in the other county.
Yeah, but you do like hip hop.
I do.
You do request that all the time when we're walking. Okay, LCD Sound System, you don't know. They're like a nerdy college electronic band. Very, very intellectual. So not you.
Is Tierney Sutton on the list?
Oh, God, don't even go there. Guns N' Roses is playing Saturday.
They're back together?
Yeah.
Axl?
Yeah, it's the whole band.
Has he got the same headband?
And then Calvin Harris is on Sunday, and you know why he's extra famous now?
Calvin Harris. Who is he?
He's a DJ.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because he's dating Taylor Swift.
Who's Taylor Swift? Has he still got that rock band that
Who, Taylor Swift? Oh, but here's some hip hop. ASAP Rocky, you like him?
Yeah.
Ice Cube, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see some. Oh, Major Lazer, they're good.
Yeah.
They're from like Jamaica.
Jamaica, man.
And he has a thing where he gets on stage and he has a dancer come up and he simulates fucking her, right?
Oh yeah.
Jamaican style. And I think it's a thing for like the reggae house music.
Yeah.
And then they bring on a ladder. Okay. He climbs the 12-foot ladder and he jumps into position fucking her. So
From the
she's
12-foot ladder.
Yeah, so she's laying on her back on the ground, like in the catching position, and he climbs the ladder as he's doing the song and jumps and dives on her.
Yeah. You should get him to wear a Trump T-shirt when he does that.
Who knows? They might be.
Oh my God!
I don't see any other big.
Did I ever tell you about the Jamaican floor show that we used to watch when we were in Jamaica?
Which one?
There's
with the Spider-Man, that guy?
No. There was. We were staying at this hotel, and in the evening, you look out and there's this little encampment across the way, and this Jamaican would come out and wash himself. He'd be butt naked with about a 3-foot dick, and he'd wash himself very slowly with a hose. And all the ladies in the hotel would come out with their little tea and sit there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is this for real?
This is for real. And watch the show.
Really?
Watch this guy wash his butt. Yeah, watch his.
No shit.
His ding dong. Yeah.
That's a real thing.
That was real. Yeah.
Did they publicize it, or was it just?
No, it was just ad lib.
Happenstance, huh?
It was just one of those. He was an exhibitionist, and that was funny. I had the best time. Ocho Rios. We rented a house, and every time I drive down to the beach, I'd pick up hitchhikers. But they're not just hitchhiking. They get in hey, thanks for the ride, man. Hey, do me a favor, man. Will you drive over here and pick up my cousin? And we did. And then, okay, we'll be right out. Oh, come on in. And, okay, come on, we're going to be right out. Oh, one more stop, man. One more stop. You don't mind, do you? Oh, thank you very much, man. Okay, what time are you going back to home? I was a bus. I was like a bus. But I loved it. You get the best bits.
Speaking of like huge, big monster dicks. Someone told me a story, and they overheard a conversation of like two like big NFL linemen, brother men, and the guy goes, "Man, don't you hate when you're taking a shit and your dick and your balls are just laying in the water?" And the white dude was thinking, that's never happened to me, man. And then if you think about it, I guess they gotta hold their balls and their dick kind of out of the toilet bowl, right?
You ever hear that joke? Pryor, and I think it was Pryor and Chris Rock or something. Richard Pryor was talking about they're sitting on a train trestle over across a creek, dicks hanging out, and the guy goes, "That water's cold, ain't it?" But listen to this. Pryor goes, "Yeah, and deep too." That was a classic dick joke. Classic dick joke. Yeah.
Classic dick.
Well, I love it, man. Yeah, who else is in Coachella now that we got on the kick of Coachella?
Well, there's a lot of parties, but I'm more mature now, and I'm gonna take it easy. I'm not gonna
more mature for Coachella. That means they wipe the puke off the side of their mouth before after they get up face first into the dirt.
I was never one of those guys, but I was one of those. I would push the limits, but now I'm realizing it's more of a life is a marathon, right? It's not a sprint.
That's right.
So you gotta kind of. So this time I'm really taking it easy. I'm gonna chill, try to see more of the show. Yeah, seriously, man.
And try not to get involved.
No, just don't take everything that's handed to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a good one. Yeah. No, carry your own medicine.
Yeah, but I'm not going to carry too much of my own either. Because that can be a problem too.
Just don't be show off.
Exactly.
How much you did? I'll do twice.
Yeah, I don't want to be the guy. Oh my God, look at your fucking eyes, dude. Your fucking eyes are tripping out, man. I don't want to be that guy.
No, don't
anymore.
do that. Don't do that.
Because it's just not a good look after a while.
So, do people record with their phones at the place?
Yeah. The audience is majority kind of got their shit out. If it's an important band, If it's a really good show, then they're just into it. They're dancing and they're just like they're in the moment, But if it's like momentous event, and they gotta just see it through their phone screen.
That's crazy. It's like watching the Trump rally. Everybody he gets on stage and everybody's got their phones out, holding them up.
Yeah, because everyone needs content for their social media,
and that's content.
Yeah,
I guess it is.
Yeah, well, those special days are make you look pretty exciting on your Facebook.
I guess, I guess you're there and they're not. Yeah, I guess I can see
how it
that.
is. All right, and I'm gonna wrap this up and go to the gym right now, and you're gonna watch the dogs. Okay, is that okay?
I'm watching the dogs. Walking the dogs.
You're gonna take them on a walk?
Yeah.
Will you really?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I need to go on a walk too to stay awake.
All right, cool. Okay, see you next time.
Okay, bye y'all.
The opinions expressed on this CannabisRadio.com program are those of the guests and hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of CannabisRadio.com. Any rebroadcast or redistribution without proper consent of CannabisRadio.com is prohibited.